All right. Hello, everyone. Welcome to Fidelis's July national webinar on AEP readiness. This is our second to last national webinar for the year. And we just want to kind of go over some stuff to make sure you all have the most productive AEP this year. So thank you for joining, taking time out of your day. We certainly appreciate it. First off, just some housekeeping notes. Everyone is muted right now until the end. We will have time for y'all to unmute and we'll have some questions and answers available for you. We also do have the chat room open. So if you have any questions, feel free to put it in the chat so we can address that. And again, at the end of the presentation, feel free to reach out to your local sales team for any market specific questions. All right. Just want to give you all, our team is growing. So we kind of wanted to give you an updated sales director's coverage map. I'll give you all some time to kind of take a look at it, take a picture, whatever. These are your amazing Fidelis sales staff that's here to support you this year. And so if you have any questions, here's their contact information. Please get in touch with them. We are here for you. So whatever we can do to help you, let us know. So next up, obviously, this is the Fidelis support team. These are our 5 pillars that we have: the contracting, compliance, marketing, commissions, and sales. And so if you don't know, now you know. Again, all these pillars are here for your success. And I definitely would like to start things off with, I know everyone's favorite, that is compliance. And this is our compliance team. We have Mitch Anderson, the Vice President of Operations, and Mackenzie Sharp, the Assistant Director of Operations. Mackenzie is here with us today to kind of go over a few things with you. And so with that, Mackenzie, I'd like for you to take it away.
Cool, thank you. Good morning, everyone, or good afternoon, I guess, depending on where you're joining from. Just a few things about compliance. Thankfully, this year, there's not been a ton of changes in the compliance world, especially with CMS. So that's a bonus for us. Not too many things we have to worry about this year. Just kind of the general prepping for AEP stuff. I know that contracting is probably going to go over this as well. But please make sure you are fully licensed, appointed, and certified especially. We just want you to be ready to sell for all the carriers that you're going to be working with for AEP so that there are no compliance issues and we can just smooth sailing. That's what we want, right? And then please review everything that it takes to have a compliance sales presentation. That is super important. We have a lot of compliance resources for you on the agent portal. They are found under our agent tools section. We update those regularly and make sure that there's up-to-date information as well as new information, additional information as much as possible. There's a lot more. That's a screenshot of the website, but there's a lot more information on there if you go in and I'll click on each of those things. And then marketing and communications, as hopefully you know, we are more than willing to review any marketing and communication materials that you have. Anything that you want to send out, you're welcome to send to either marketing or compliance at fidelisagents.com. We are more than happy to review that and give you pointers and help change things around to make things compliant for you. Ultimately, we're here to answer any questions. Please send us an email, give us a call. We're here to help.
Awesome. Thank you, Mackenzie. I think that the compliance department is pretty underutilized by our agents. It's great to, it's just a huge bonus that our agents have access to that, being able to have access to Mitch and Mackenzie and making sure that all your stuff is compliant. So we certainly appreciate y'all being there and helping keep all of us out of trouble. So thank you for that. And I have to apologize before we move forward. My name is Brad Woolard. I didn't introduce myself. I'm the regional sales director for the East and sales director for New Mexico. Also on the call, we have Marisa Canold, She's a sales director up in Colorado, and I believe Jacob's on here too. Did I see that? Jacob's up here is on there as well. Carrie could not be with us today. She's on much deserved PTO, but in her place, we do have Leah. Leah is here. She works out of our Arizona office as well. And then we have Nick Santmeyer. He's our sales director out in the East. And so, again, I apologize. I didn't introduce myself, but here we are. All right, next up, our fabulous marketing ladies. Again,
Hello.
I think
Hello. My
I
name's
don't think this is
Gabriella.
utilized as much as it should be, but anyway, Gabby, I'm just gonna leave it off to you because you all can definitely tell us what it is you do far better than I can. So
Yes. Well, I'm so excited to be here to tell you all about the fun resources we have for this year. This is the team. So we have our marketing intern, Emma, and Angie and Kayla are amazing graphic designers who work on so many materials and our new custom design services. So, Brad, if you want to go forward, um, we are so excited this year. We have refreshed all of our agent marketing hub materials. So, if you guys don't know what this is, on fidelisagents.com. If you get yourself set up on the Fidelis agent portal, you'll have access to this marketing hub. And in here, we have different flyers, business cards, postcards, brochures, anything that you might need or anything that our sales directors think that you need is in here. And we continue to just build each topic and to grow this resource for you guys so that you're going to be able to access easy, customizable templates for all of your different needs. So we've refreshed all the designs. So if you've been in here before, you're going to see on August 1st all new designs in here, new materials. They are CMS compliant, so they've already been reviewed and they're ready to go for you. All you have to do is fill out your information on the flyer, and then you can print, use them for whatever you need. We also have these materials available in Spanish. So we have our top English section, and then if you scroll down a little bit on that page, you'll see them all available in Spanish for any of your needs as well. And those were translated by a certified translator so that you can feel confident in giving them out. And then something very exciting that we have just started off is custom design services. So we have all of these templates available to you, but if you want to just kind of slightly alter them, add more information, customize them in any sort of way, our team is there to help you. As I showed earlier, we have 2 graphic designers who are happy to help you design whatever you need. If you have an idea for a piece that you're trying to create, but you just can't quite get the design right, we are here for that as well. So all you have to do is fill out a little form and we'll reach out to you. We'll help you get started and design anything that you need. We can incorporate it in your personal branding, or if you need some help creating your own personal branding, a little logo for your business or color scheme, anything that you need there, we can help you with a brand kit. We offer pretty much anything. So as far as design goes, we can help you there. You can always just reach out to us directly at marketingrequests@fidelisagents.com and we can help you get started. We will always work with the compliance team as well. So if you're building a custom material, it'll be fully compliant and checked by them. But yes, anything that you need, we are here for you.
awesome. Thank you, Gabby. Thank you to yourself and your team. It's another great resource for our agents to use. I'd like to see more of them use it. I'm not saying you need more work, but I'm just saying I'd like to see more of them use it. Because it's just amazing that we have it in-house as well to be able to make that for them. So thank you so much. All right. Next up for AEP preparedness, contracting. Boy, this is our contracting team, Caitlin, Rain, and Kelsey. Unfortunately, they're unable to make it today because they are busy processing all your contracts right now. You figure we have approximately 2,000 agents with at least 10 contracts each. Do the math, they're a little busy. But here's how you get a hold of them. And if there's ever a thankless job, I think in our world, it is the contracting because man, that's a lot to do. But we certainly appreciate it. But what I would like to say is, I think especially now this time of year, if you are thinking you might want to add a contract, I would say now's the time to do it. Get it in, get the contracting started, because as we're seeing, and you're probably seeing it as well, a lot of these plans and designs are coming out later and later in the year. And so it might be too late in the year where you come across a plan or a design where you go, oh, that carrier I think I do want to do business with. And so it just kind of holds things up, and we don't want to do that. So again, with contracting, make sure you get your contracts in, at least the top 5 in your market. Reiterate, get your certifications done. They need to be done, completed. And please get your AHIPs sent in to Fidelis. Again, we don't want to keep anything up. We don't want to hold you up from being out there and selling. So it's important that these do get done in a very timely manner. All right. And of course, I know we all do this for a reason. It is for commissions. So if you have any commission questions, you can also check on your portal at fidelisagents.com. But there's Josh and Michael. They're commissions extraordinaires. There's their email address. So if you have any questions, please reach out to them. All right. Next up is, of course, for your readiness. We do have convenience for our agents. If you're lucky enough to be in the core markets, we do have the office spaces available for, of course, your business machines, copy, fax, carrier supplies. Make sure you go and book your appointment now. If you're not in our core markets, though, would you still get our full support with whatever else you need? Do you need extra supplies? Do you need extra giveaways? Please don't hesitate. Reach out to your sales director and let us find a way to help you. Okay. And of course, for preparing for success, watch for your ordering deadlines from the carriers. I will mention this. This is pretty key that you make sure you do have your supply on hand. While the core markets and the offices do have a lot of these kits on hand, a lot of these carriers are starting to slim down what we are able to have. And so I just want to make sure you're prepared as much as possible. So please make sure you order them. Get your pre-orders for your own personal stock. And of course, again, as a reminder, the large bulk orders for Fidelis, they are prone to some shipping issues. So make sure you plan ahead, okay? Next up, make sure you're prepared. Technology. Let's talk about that a little bit. And with that, I'd like to bring the Colorado sales director, Marisa.
The person who just reminded herself to unmute gets to talk about technology. That's great. Hi, everyone. Good morning, good afternoon. I'm looking through the list of participants and I recognize a lot of names. So I think we have a lot of seasoned agents on here. There are some names I don't recognize, however. So I definitely want to do our due diligence and talk about how to utilize technology going into another AEP season, or this might be your first AEP season. So with that, something that Fidelis is able to offer our agents is a platform called Medicare Center. This is a platform that is gifted to us, I'll say, by our parent company, Integrity, and it is just extremely robust. It will help simplify your life going into AEP. So if we can, next slide, please. What I will say, I don't have control over this, right? Okay, great. What I will say about Medicare Center is that this could be its own 2-hour training. And fortunately, there's a whole Medicare Center team that is way more articulate and in-depth than I am, than your sales team is. But you can find trainings that are live trainings, recorded trainings, all the learning that you will need to really understand the ins and outs of this platform are available to you. You get a free account just by being a Fidelis an agent with us. So typically, I don't know, I've seen agents use different CRM systems. I know that in the past, I'm going way past, they used to pay for something called Radius Bob as a CRM, a client retention management tool. you get access to this for free. So utilize it. Even if you're only utilizing this platform to keep your client information as a CRM, that's incredible. And it's a service that's available to you. Again, I don't want to do such a deep dive on Medicare Center that we could just go on, but I do want to highlight a couple of the features. One, again, I talked about it being a CRM. You can quote and enroll here. So I had an agent in this morning actually, and he was saying, you know, I only use Medicare Center because I can't remember all the ins and outs when it comes to using this carrier versus that carrier. So if that works for you, if you are like a savant and you know how to use a carrier's portal, by all means. If you want to quote and enroll and use their CRMs, by all means. But Medicare Center becomes a one-stop shop for you. You can quote and enroll any carrier on this platform. So you don't have to kind of visit and remember passwords and everything. If you're like me, I have a password Bible because it's just overflowing. I can't keep it all straight. Medicare Center allows you to come and just put in your client info, quote and enroll. I do want to talk about that they have more and more developing with this robust platform. Like I don't want to say every year, every month. So now there's a quick quote feature that I'm going to talk about. Instead of having to search by a client, you can just pull up a quick quote. You can absolutely be using it for sending and texting electronic scope of appointments. That is a quick way. No matter what plan you are talking about, you always need a scope of appointment. Yes, the timeline of when you send those out due to compliance will change, but you will always need a scope of appointment. Medicare Center makes that easy. You can text it, you can email it, it'll show up in real time in your account, and then you are covered for an entire year. It also is going to store that for you for 10 years, so you don't have to have a file cabinet. Another feature, this platform came out when call recording was instituted. So a lot of us on this call remember 4 years ago now, it could have been, I think 4 years ago, when CMS came out and said, hey, everybody, if you're going to be talking benefits with your clients, you need to have that recorded. But that's where Medicare Center was born, to kind of solve that strain, I'll call it, for our agents. And so it really originated as a CRM with a built-in call recording feature. It has become so much more, but absolutely make sure you're utilizing it for the call recordings. I know other carriers might have their own call recording systems in place, but again, with Medicare Center, you just need to learn one platform. It'll record those calls, store those calls for you. You can go back and listen to it if you can't remember, oh, what did that client ask me about? So I definitely would encourage you, use it for your scopes, use it to record those calls if you're talking to your clients about benefits. And definitely something that is going to be super helpful for you this year is using that plan enroll link. And so what that is a link that you get. It's a personal URL. It's your own link that you can email to clients that will allow them to go and enroll themselves in a plan. Why is this going to be so helpful this year? Well, because like we know with 2025, there's been a lot of disruption. And when we talk about disruption, we're talking about opportunity. So it's not that disruption is a big scary word. Market disruption and just a shakeup across the Medicare industry, we know equals opportunity. A lot of people need help. They're not going to understand why their plans are changing. And it's going to be more vital than ever that a broker is available to consumers. So the two areas causing such shakeup right now in our industry is overregulation and overutilization. And we are not seeing that shift going into 2026. We still have the regulations that are currently taking place. Like Brad said, carriers have to submit bids in 2 weeks. They've got 2 weeks to submit their bids, and then the CMS still has to approve those. So just get prepared that first looks this year might be a little vague. And as Brad mentioned, we're not going to really know those plan benefits until later in the year, which is even more why you're going to need to be able to combat that by having a tool that will allow you to talk to your clients, send them a link, and let them enroll themselves. You will still maintain an agent of record. You are still their contact person. When you use your personal URL link, all of your information is there, which is incredible. So if your clients need you, they have quick access to you. These are the main features. Again, Medicare Center is so you can just go down the rabbit hole in it. But with everything coming out later, this is where I would really encourage you to utilize that technology, get super familiar with how this works, get super familiar with our agent portal. And now is the time, since we can't really learn the plans that we're going to be offering. We're in a little bit of a holding pattern when it comes to what 2026 is going to bring as far as carrier benefits go. Start getting familiar with this so that going forward, you just make it easier on yourself. Thank you for this next slide. Like I said, there's tons of resources and trainings through Medicare Center. So if you're looking at that one slide, Tip Tuesdays, every Tuesday, there's just like a 15-minute quick hit on a different feature of how to utilize it. And then through your learning center, you can go in and enroll yourself in their monthly trainings. They'll have live webinars throughout the month. They have recorded. It's like a library of material that is recorded. So you can really learn how to utilize this to your efficiency and maximizing everything. Something else we know going into AEP 2026, we're starting to see non-commissionable plans. It's happening with PDP plans, and word on the street is we're going to see more of that happening with the Medicare Advantage plans. Obviously, our agents have two trains of thoughts when it comes to this. Okay, why am I going to be meeting with clients and enrolling them and sitting with them and writing these plans when they're non-commissionable? Got it. This is where, again, that plan enroll link will really help you. You can still be their agent. You can advise them over the phone using that recorded call system, send them the link, and they can enroll themselves. So it's going to at least alleviate a little bit of that work, especially as we see non-commissionable plans kind of coming our way. And we can talk about that more. That's why we want to save room for Q&A at the end. But Medicare Center. Medicare Center, yes, it's through Fidelis. However, we do not control it. Wish we did, but we don't. So if you get stuck or you need to reset your password or you need help when it comes to specifically your clients who are stored in there, you've got to reach out to Medicare Center and they can help. There's also a chat feature. So yes, you can call. I don't recommend calling the closer it gets to AEP because you already know why. You can email, and then that turnaround time is going to be a little bit longer, again, the closer we get to AEP. But there's also a chat feature. I've been utilizing the chat feature lately, and I love that one. But when it comes to anything that's a little glitchy, you can reach out to us. However, we won't always have access, and that's a beautiful thing about Medicare Center. We've got no access to your account. It is so private, it is so locked down, it is so compliant, so secure that we can't even get in there and help. So if you need help, please utilize that feature with Medicare Center as well. But your sales team is very well versed in how this platform works. So if you just need a little guidance there, please reach out to us. That's, I think, a wrap on Medicare Center, which is a lot to cram into just a little itty bitty slideshow.
It is a lot. I'm glad you showed that though, that you still,
Yeah.
again. So let me first reiterate, Medicare Center is free to all of Fidelis agents. In fact, everything we're talking about today, as far as, having ability to get a hold of compliance, the ability to work with our marketing team, and the Medicare Center. And so those are all free for our agents. But yeah, if you have any other questions, it's a great idea to jump on to.
Thank you, Brad. Yeah, I'm seeing Lorena's question. It might have been Lorena. I'll double check, but they do tend to do a lot of updates just to fix those bugs and glitches. Again, there's an entire Medicare Center team designated to that platform. So it could have been updating yesterday. Try again today. And if it's still giving you hassle, reach out to one of us and we can take a look. My favorite thing to do with the agents in my market is a screen share because, it's like I can't, it's like one of those counseling exercises where you're like, tell me what you see. And then it just, I apparently I don't do well in those. But if I can screen share, I can definitely help troubleshoot. Sometimes when it's not allowing us to enroll, it's because I've not checked something or I didn't select a county. I don't know. So it'll prevent us from going forward with enrollments if we haven't completed one box. And yes, to that question, like Brad said, it is there's no subscription required at all. You get that complimentary through Fidelis.
Added benefit, working with us.
Yeah.
Besides all these wonderful people. All right. A great AEP also is about being intentional, right? At the end of the day, a goal without a plan is just a dream. So the best thing to do is to sit down and let's start coordinating all this. Coordinate a business plan with a marketing plan. Again, let's go over your AEP goal as far as apps per carrier, how you're going to achieve those goals. Again, making sure you're already set up with supplies throughout AEP. Again, if you run out, we understand. That's why we have support here for you to get you some more if you need it. Again, check all those marketing materials for compliance. Please, please, please check it. You've got them here. Utilize them. That's what we need. Is you all to utilize these resources. That's going to help you immensely. And of course, here we are again, talking about a good plan, right? Got to be intentional. Talking about you can sit down with any one of us. We would love to sit down with you, go over a good plan with you, and help you out as much as possible. Of course, we're going to talk about those focus areas, the sales events, cross-selling. I think that's going to be huge this year because of the disruptions that are happening and non-commissionables that are coming out, lead opportunities, and of course, client retention. So after you sit down with us, then it's about, let's calendar these events. First and foremost, register your events. Please register those. It seems to be one of the biggest causes for complaints or heartache that we see is not registering it. I would also talk about while you're out there at your events, maybe check those surrounding areas, like what else is around there. Since you're already going to be in the area, where else can you put some flyers? Who else can you knock a door? Who else can you share what you do with? And then I would also like to hit, please plan your events with the carriers. I know we've been hearing there may not be a lot with co-op this year from carriers, or they're going to be stingier with it. So I think this is just a way of getting, I don't want to say around that, but utilizing those relationships, right? They might not have co-op, but if you can talk to your carrier reps, plan events with them, I think get them involved as much as possible. That'll help alleviate some of that. And of course, community-based marketing, we need to make sure those are all calendared because it's not on your calendar, it's probably not going to happen. And one of my personal favorites, I believe, again, may not be utilized as much, is the personal branding. Literally letting people know wherever you go. I was just horseback riding a few weekends ago, and even the Wrangler said, "Hey, what do you do?" And so come to find out, him and his wife are Medicare eligible. So don't be ashamed and let everybody know. So,
Brad, a
Yeah.
couple things on those things,
Please.
a couple things on those things. With the registering events with carriers, like you said, the sponsorship, carriers are just feeling the pinch. So that's trickling down to they even need, if they're going to be funding something, up to like 45 days advance notice. So echoing what Brad said, if you are trying to do some non-retail, just kind of off out of the box thinking type events with carriers, make sure you're getting that to them now so that they can set that up for you leading up to AEP. And then yes, the personal branding. I think Fidelis team members have story after story of watching agents just succeed and do so well in this business. And it sounds cheesy, but really, like, we had an agent who anytime she got her nails done or went to her book club or her wine club, she's just talking to anybody about this is what I do because she's so passionate about it. And again, this being our second shake-up year in a row, a lot of people are going to have questions. We better believe that the marketing going out to consumers and beneficiaries will be there again. So really just positioning yourself as, if you have any questions, just I'm your person. If you have family members, relatives, friends who need help, I'm your person. Just give me a call and let me talk through this with you, because it's going to be confusing. So just a little more words around the personal branding.
I agree. It is going to be
Sentiment.
confusing. Yeah. And at the end of the day, even today, we're 77 days away. So when we say this should be happening now, like yesterday it should have happened. So we got everyone, we need to get on this right now to get it going for y'all. Also, as we look at your business plan and your marketing plan, we're going to look at your focus areas. So it's really important for you to ID, of course, where your book is currently centered, where you'd like to go. And I think even more importantly this year, identifying those market disruptions. Every year there is a disruption of some kind. We're coming up on another one. But as Marisa said earlier, every disruption is an opportunity. It's an opportunity for us. It's an opportunity for our clients. And what can we do to help capitalize on that? And I think there's a lot of ways to help that. And that is through cross-selling. And I'd like to bring in our cross-selling guru, Nick Sentmeyer from the East, to touch base on this. Because like I said, I think this is a huge opportunity for us this year.
Hey, thanks for that segue, Brad. Good morning, good afternoon, everybody. And as they've alluded to on this call, this is going to be a big year in the ancillary side of things for us as we get ready for AEP. What we're hearing is that there's going to be a lot more focus on that. So as we get into this, talk about a couple of things and why is cross-selling important. And one of the things is you do get to fill gaps from the Medicare Advantage plans. It helps build a trust with your clients. And you can also, you protect your book and you can protect your commissions. One thing that cross-selling will allow you all is to increase your commissions. That's something we might want to look into more, especially as the Medicare Advantage side, they're going to be paying less for certain things. So let's just talk about a couple of things real quick here. On the hospital indemnity side, this is something you will want to offer to a client anytime they pick up a Medicare Advantage plan that has inpatient copays. Let the client know you have a solution to help with those costs and other gaps that the plan doesn't cover. And I've got conflicting answers on this, whether you have to have ancillary select on the scope of appointment or not. I've heard yes and no. For now, let's just go ahead and say, just check that before the meeting just to make sure you're covered. If not, you'll have to schedule another follow-up with the customer. But GTL and Wellaby both have e-apps with instant underwriting on these plans. On the final expense side, the main thing when it comes to that is you're offering a peace of mind for the family. You will want to offer the final expense when reviewing life insurance needs or discussing legacy planning. And you can tell them that most clients that you work with, they add a plan around $15 a month in coverage. And this really ensures that their family isn't left with any funeral costs or bills. A couple of the plans to look at, Mutual of Omaha and Americo have guaranteed issue plans. And again, this will have to be something separate from the Medicare appointment that you can set up. Let's talk about some cancer policies. Unfortunately, we're all one diagnosis away from big cost when it comes to this. You'll want to offer this to any of your clients or family members with a cancer history. Most plans pay doctors, but these cancer plans will pay you if you're ever diagnosed with cancer. And this will allow you to focus on recovery and not mounting bills and other things that life brings. If you want to discuss this, if you want to discuss this, make sure you just have this select on that scope of appointment under ancillary products. And then you have GTL, Wellaby, and Aetna. They all offer lump sum plans ranging from $15 to $35 a month. And you know, just to give you some examples of what other agents I've talked to will use when they're doing these, they'll say, before we wrap up, can I ask you one more question? And then you can say stuff like, most people that I work with don't want big surprise bills. If they end up in the hospital, are you in a similar boat? And that can segue into one of these products. And you can easily just say, hey, I have something affordable that will help fill these gaps and help alleviate any these crazy costs that might come from picking up one of these forms of cancer. But again, these are going to be very important this year. We're scheduling meetings with all the carriers. We've picked up some standalone products that we haven't had last year. So reach out to all of us. We can talk more about any of these products, and if we need to, we can do trainings or even get some of the carriers involved.
Absolutely. Thanks, Nick. Appreciate that. And some of you folks may or may not know, but one of the benefits again, or I should say another benefit of working with Fidelis is we have quite a few carriers that do offer a guaranteed issue for our folks. So if you're just getting into it, that's a great way to get started, at least, is not worrying about underwriting because you have guaranteed issue on those plans. And so that's a great way to just kind of get started and make it easier as you start going.
And I think, Nick said about the ancillary and needing a scope. I know when you send a scope through Medicare Center, it automatically defaults to just checking every box. And I was trying to pull one up, but I am pretty sure that it's like Med Sup and ancillary is automatically populated on there just as a CYA.
Good. No, we're not trying to make it easier for you, but we are. All right, next up, again, preparedness, getting ready for this season, making sure you're as ready as you can be, is of course lead opportunities. I know first off, we talk about is carrier leads. They're hit up by constantly by agents and even by us for you. And at the end of the day, the reality is there's only so many to go around by carriers for agents. And so I really think it's about being more intentional for yourself and your business and being intentional with even where you're putting your mindset and where you're putting your activities towards. And so I think it's helping to create your own through, of course, grassroots marketing, again, talking about cross-selling, and professional website. I think this is pretty important, and we see that a lot of people they get one and they just kind of try to forget it. But this is a way to help generate some leads for you by making sure this is your digital business card. So make sure it looks modern, nothing's really outdated. It performs well. In other words, it loads quickly and can be easily navigated. You use clear calls to action on your website, like book a consultation now to learn more about it. Schedule with me, schedule with have a little link to schedule with a professional now. Talking about Google business profiles too. When you fill those out, it's very important that you also fill out every field that's there. Make sure you can add photos of not only yourself, not just stock photos, but photos of yourself and clients that you have. And of course, actively asking for your folks for referrals and for reviews. I was just had to move myself, and even my realtor said, "Hey, I need your review on Google for me." Everyone's doing it. You should as well. And then talking about local SEO, so search engine optimization. Make sure you're using location-specific pages. I think it's a good idea too to make sure you are listed on like Yelp and Bing, stuff like that. And another great way for lead opportunities are these ANOC meetings. They're getting the letters. They need to know what's happening. I think you should be scheduling these already with your clients to let them know what's happening, keeping them informed. Have them bring folks that they know that may have received those letters as well. These
Which
are
is allowed.
which is allowed.
You can't market an ANOC meeting. And I know we speak in acronyms, so most people know ANOC is Annual Notice of Change letter that members receive around when, Brad, September? I think those are when they start
Yeah.
getting those. And that's the letters that they probably just throw away and they don't pay attention to what's changing in their plan. That's what we saw with 2025 anyway, is that they didn't, not everybody paid attention to their ANOC letter, letting them know that they're going to have prescription drug copays in 25 and this benefit got pulled and no more OTC. And that's why it was a very busy OEP for y'all, because that's when the members started trying to use their benefits that they once had and realized no more. So to Brad's point, the ANOC meetings is a way to almost address like a large group of your clients at once. So say if you have the majority of your book, because if you're working a focus area, you're probably choosing a competitive plan. Obviously it's individualized, but if you have a large chunk of your book of business on plan B from who cares carrier, schedule a meeting to address the changes in one lump sum in one group, so that way you can kind of address head on a lot of people and then save your scheduling during AEP for the folks who either are new to Medicare, really need to change their plan, have something coming up in 26 and it's going to require them to shift, to move, to meet with you. But the ANOC meetings are considered educational, so you don't need to run them by a carrier, as long as you're staying compliant with what entails an educational presentation. And you can't market them. You can't say, hey, everybody, come to my meeting about this carrier's plan, but you can in your letters or marketing to your current clients say, please come, you're on the plan. I'm going to be talking about the changes to this plan. And if you have anybody who needs help with Medicare, bring them. So working that referral business as well. I know Adam is on the call. Adam Brisolara, our owner, he would be able to speak to leads and how he and Zach built this business from the ground up and really utilized grassroots marketing techniques. Again, the carriers are getting pinched, and even though our current administration is providing more funding to them, it's not offsetting the costs with the overutilization of what we're seeing trending as far as like members go when it comes to the surgeries and the the procedures and everything. The costs to be profitable in 2026 and 2025, as we saw, is getting tighter and tighter. So just looking at carrier leads, like Brad said, probably few and far between, and they're getting really watched anyway by CMS as far as they can't be incentivizing agents. So leads where they might have been a little bit more viable in the past are kind of going away. And then you think about too, all the advertising and call centers that are not doing things compliantly, targeting beneficiaries to buy call leads and to buy a lot of leads. One, it's a numbers game, and Adam has quoted a statistic. So if this is not accurate anymore for 2025, I'm going to blame Adam. But it's basically those call leads yield about a 1 to 3% return on ROI. And so you really have to buy a lot in order to get a couple clients. And then that's great because of course our industry works on referrals, but where Fidelis has really seen the books of business grow, like Brad said, your lead opportunities is your grassroots marketing, dominating your backyard, working your communities, working those connections, branding yourself, establishing ANOC meetings so you can address a lot of your clients at once. Everything we're talking about is not actually leads. Use paid leads to supplement all of these other efforts that you're doing, but this is a great slide that Brad's highlighting of the actual ways to build that book.
And one of the things I like most about it is these are all low to no cost, right? Leads, you're buying them They're expensive. Again, all the extra monies that are available are starting to dry up. So how do we maximize what we have, our greatest return on investment? And these are ways of just being able to maximize that for you. Help stretch that budget for y'all, if you will. And also ask for referrals. Ask. I think it's I've seen a lot of agents, they just kind of wait for the referrals to come in. I think we should be a little more proactively asking that. Hey, who else do you know that I can help? Then, of course, as we all know, a good offense is important. Offense, sorry, not good offense, good offense. But defense does win champions. So contact your book of business by phone, email, mail. Make them aware of the upcoming AEP. This should already be happening. We're 77 days away. Make sure they still have your contact information. You'd be surprised how many people don't. They lose your number. I have clients that come into my office. I don't have my agent's number. That happens a couple times a month. So please make sure they have it. Hey, there we are. Ask for referrals. And of course, there are some outreach letters that are available on Marketing Hub for you. So a good offense. And we have touched on it several times. Look, AEP, to have a good one, is intentional. Let's be intentional about all the things we're doing. The time is crunched, disruptions. We have carriers. We have lack of funding. So we really need to make sure that our focus this year is intentional. What am I doing today that is going to make my AEP better? And whatever it is, please, if you need help, we are here for you. All of us at Fidelis are here for you, whatever it is. So please utilize us, schedule time with us. And if you have some extra time, please come to our rollout events at our at our core markets. September the 11th is going to be New Mexico. September 16th is Arizona. September 18th is going to be Colorado. If you're in the core market or near the core market and you can attend, please do. It is a free event. We are going to have the carriers there. We're going to have resources there for you. We're going to go over more information, and it's a fun event. This year's theme is actually Western themed. So we're super excited to see Adam and Zach, the two owners. They do promise to have the best cowboy hats around. Take a moment, scan that QR code, and make sure you register for the event. Please come, please come.
Yeah, that'll be super important to just to be able to hear from everybody in your market. And it's fun, and we give prizes and raffles. It's
And
a
we
good
give
time.
prizes and raffles. I'm glad you reminded me about that.
Oh, yeah. And we entice you with food. I will say that Colorado, we did a food tasting for our venue yesterday. Even if you don't want to come listen to us, just come for the food. It's going to be great. Cheryl had a question about, this is a great question, actually, Cheryl. Please talk about what can I give someone who is one of my clients and wants to give me referrals. Well, Mackenzie might want to speak to that too, because rule of thumb is you don't want to violate anything in fraud, waste, and abuse of trying to elicit referrals, but you are allowed to give up to, I believe it's 15, like a gift, Mackenzie, of $15 for referrals. That's for a partnership, Cheryl, that, like you said, she's a client, she's going to refer people to you. I'd be a little careful with that, but I think CMS compliance wise, you're allowed to give your referring client up to $15. And then when you refer, let's say, I just want to touch on referrals too within the Fidelis network. If you aren't contracted with the carrier and your client's like, hey, this is going to be the most appropriate fit for me for 26, and you're like, I can't write that, I don't have that contract. If you don't want to try to scramble and get a contract and get certified in the middle of AEP, which I wouldn't imagine, you can refer that, reach out to your sales director, unless you have a contact, another agent who you know and you work with. But if you don't, reach out to your sales director. Hey, do you have an agent who writes this company? And we are allowed to give up to $100 for a Medicare Advantage referral. That's different for a SUP and different for a PDP. But CMS will allow us to pay referrals for agent to agent, if that makes sense. I hope that answered that.
And before we jump in, because we got some time, I did want to make sure we had enough time for some Q&A. I did want to open the floor real quick though to the rest of the sales directors. If anyone else wanted to add anything, is there anything else you'd like to add or discuss before we open it for Q&A? All right.
I mean, I'll keep talking. Sorry, everyone.
And
This is the Brad and
we'll keep-
Marisa show.
We'll keep listening.
No.
But at this time,
Just-
yeah, let's go ahead and open it up because
Yeah.
I'm sure we're gonna have questions and we want to provide answers as much as possible. So Gabby, if we can get this unmuted and let's figure out what we can do to help.
Yes.
Yeah,
Everyone is available to unmute themselves.
Okay, perfect.
and that's great, Cheryl. That's another point too. If you have somebody out of state, let us know, because like Brad said, we've got 2,000 agents across the country and we can have somebody help write a client who's out of state.
Just did that last night. I had an agent contact me who's in Arizona who needed help with a client in Tennessee. And
Yeah.
we put two Fidelis folks together to get that done. So
How do we know when the ANOC letters go out?
usually you're notified by the carriers too. They'll
Yeah.
tell us. The carrier partners will tell you, hey, ANOC letters are going out on
Mhm.
this time.
And I think in some of the portals you can see, if you go into like agent resources, it'll show when the ANOC letters are sent. I think the most obvious way our agents over in my market learn about it is because their clients start calling them. And it's usually about the end of, mid to end September. So with that offense, you could, Cheryl, get a hold of everybody ahead of time. That outreach letter that marketing created was a new addition, and it's just a generic check-in letter. All the carriers, of course, have them, but Fidelis has one that's just, hey, we're checking in. You can customize the verbiage to say, be expecting your ANOC letters to come in September. Reach out to me as soon as you get it if you have any questions. So maybe sending them something now, just preparing them so they know to get a hold of you once those hit their mailboxes. Tyler, yes, you would just reach out to a sales director. There's no link at this point, but I still would think that the reaching out to the sales team would probably be your best bet, as we're very familiar with who covers what and who covers where, and who's familiar with what product depending on your client needs. So it'll basically be based on your client's needs assessment. We can match them with an agent that's appropriate.
Yes.
Buzz, I'm not ignoring you. I'll get back to your question too. Well, Miss Bernadette, we house all of our national webinars on the Fidelis Agents portal under Fidelis University. So maybe somebody can put that pathway in the chat, because under Fidelis University, one, you'll have a lot of pre-recorded just Medicare basic trainings. Shout out to Adam once again. He took the time to record just a lot of short videos too about Medicare's parts A, B, and C, and D. What does this all mean? The difference between a SUP and a PDP. And so like Brad was saying about the business plan, Adam's got a video on there under Fidelis University about how to really fill out that business plan. Of course, reach out to your sales team. We will help go through that with you, especially with the changes coming this year, about focus counties, what carriers you want to be representing, if we're not going to be writing PPOs, as we see those start to go non-commissionable, how are we going to utilize technology to help that? Reach out to us, but Adam will do a nice overview of filling out that business plan. He's got a lot of insights. I mean, the industry and the knowledge that we have collectively as a team here, I feel like it's kind of unparalleled. So if you watch that business plan video, he'll break down who you should be working with, what days are good for this. Do not try to set up meetings with like food banks and those kind of community partnerships on Mondays. Fridays are not, just he's got all these little tidbits in there. So definitely make sure you're utilizing Fidelis University for all things. And that's also where these webinars will be housed. Another webinar that everyone should watch is on Fidelis University. It's the bonus national webinar about building your Medicare business. I'm putting that link in. Make sure to check that out if you haven't.
And we do have one more national webinar from Fidelis next month. It's going to be with correct? Mutual of Omaha.
Yep.
So look forward for that.
Definitely talking about all those cross-selling opportunities as hospital copays are going up. There's going to be a lot of shift in benefits we're hearing, a lot of tightening of networks. This is going to be an HMO focused AEP.
Yep.
Marketing has already created, it's not on the hub quite yet, but they've already created templates for you to use for your books that say, hey, is your plan's network changing? Because we're expecting that. So just, again, playing offense, be prepared to see some network disruptions happen. The DSNPs, any members, thank you, Rich Jaramillo. Yes, we will be updating the DSNP and LIS presentations because a lot of changes to those products, of course. But bye-bye to Visa cards, utility benefits, most likely, grocery things. DSNP members are now going to need to requalify, and we don't need to get in the weeds on that, but just know that that population is going to have some disruption there. So they're going to need, those members are going to need your help more than ever too. So just getting them prepared of better utilize all those extra, what's known as VBID benefits now. And we're going to see prescription drug costs come back to the DSNP plans for 2026. That's going to happen. So just start having the conversations now. Well, we can't totally dive into each carrier benefit because they're still working that out with CMS. You can start just having the conversations with your clients about, there's going to be changes coming. I'm your person. Start getting contracted, get all those certifications in place, learn how to use your technology to your advantage. That's what we can be doing right now just to get ready. Buzz, you had a question about Medicare Center. There's a marketing way that you can send out mass emails and everything. I'll have to look into that. Medicare Center doesn't allow uploads. So if you complete a scope through another, on your own like Word document or something, you can't upload it. So I wouldn't imagine that you can kind of customize some of these letters that they have, but I'm going to look into that. And what Buzz is talking about is in your Medicare Center account, there's a tab now that says marketing that you can go in and you can send a text blast anonymously. I mean, it's not going to carbon copy everybody in your book, but it'll send it to each client. You can do that with emails. So he's asking if we can customize that. I'll have to look. You can make the emails and the letter templates on fidelisagents.com on our marketing hub. You can customize those a little bit as long as you leave the compliant verbiage in there and make those your own. Because yeah, they want to hear from you. They don't want to hear from a generic, carrier letter. They want to hear from their agent.
And where do we find that compliant verbiage? We can help you with that. Reach out to our compliance team. What else do we have? Oh, Rochelle, add some slides for MedSup to the Medicare 101. Okay. We can certainly also create one the way, what it is you're looking for. We can help with that. Any social media posts available in regards to upcoming changes? We do not have any social media posts about those.
But that would be I am on mute, off
You-
mute.
You are off mute.
Ugh, technology queen. That would be an easy piece to create, Chris. Again, Gabby and her team, fabulous. Like Brad said, they're in-house. It's not like we outsource to a third-party marketing company that takes weeks to turn things around. So we can definitely do something where marketing and compliance overlap and just make a social media post about upcoming changes, you bet. That'll be housed on the Fidelis portal under social media.
And they love doing that kind of stuff. So that's why those girls are there, those ladies are there, and they handle it because they absolutely love what they do and they love helping agents. So
Tyler, I'm glad you asked about that. Yeah, definitely. I mean, I think finding a source that is obviously not biased and good for you. I have a couple sources that I use that I can send you. Obviously, going to CMS, that'll have all the 2026 changes. It does get a little jargony in there, if I can say that. So checking Medicare.gov is something that I do. I've got some other sources, but anything where you can go to learn about all of these changes. Something else that I would promote is the Medicare Market Disruption Series. It's once a month. That's put on by Integrity, so our parent company, and they're going to have their last one of the year August 28th, I believe, is their last, hey, Medicare market, State of the Union, disruptions, what's going on? August 28th. So definitely check with your sales director on that, and we can make sure to send you that link. But yeah, staying up to date on sources, huge. It's huge, especially right now. Laura, we wish we knew.
yeah,
Hi.
we're still getting information.
Yep.
I received some yesterday that UHC was going to come out with some more changes, but
Yeah.
as we alluded to earlier, again, we're we're going to be late on plans, designs, etc. So yeah,
These are great questions though. Oh, we're over time. But we can answer these questions for anybody who has the
Yeah.
time to stay on, because I think that's a big question across agents right now. What do we expect to be non-commissioned? Obviously, carriers are keeping things very close to their vest. We've seen PDPs. WellCare came out and was one of the first to do that, and WellCare is still one of those top selling PDP plans. So carriers are starting to realize that just because they're going non-commissionable doesn't really impact production. So especially when it comes to PDPs, because of all the drug changes that happened, it's just hard to be profitable. We just saw UHC say that we're pulling all commissions. So we kind of expect PDPs to go non-commissioned, but we'd have to hear that from carriers. There are also carriers that are coming out loud and proud saying we will not decommission our PDP plans because that's a selling point for them. So it's really going to be carrier based, and we won't know that until we hear it from the horse's mouth, so to speak. Hey, staying on theme with our
that's right.
rollouts.
Yeah,
Our Western
rollouts.
Maine
Hopefully,
rollouts.
they're
Yeah.
more at those rollouts. We're hoping that a lot of them won't. I mean, obviously, we're going to see probably a lot more POs
PPOs. Yep.
that are going to be non-commissionable because just seems like the way of it this year.
Yes. And I think, with United, to Laura's second part 2 of her question, what if your members are on a plan that has been non-commissioned? Do you still get that renewal commission? Well, when that's carrier specific,
Yeah.
depending on their plan designs and how profitable it is for them, because the goal is for them to be able to offer this. If they're going bankrupt, they can't offer this. So WellCare said no. That when they took away commission on their PDPs, they also took away the renewals. United, to my knowledge, did not do that. Anybody who was on might be getting their PPOs and PDPs, but anybody who was on a PDP, the agent still received those renewals. United's non-commissionable PPOs, any member who is on a PPO that is no longer commissionable, as of right now, agents are still receiving referral commissions. What we can kind of, as agents who have been in this for a long time, as a lot of you have, what we can somewhat read between the lines are when carriers want you to stop selling something, they're going to take away the money. I mean, that's the best way to get agents to stop writing their business, which is to pivot the focus onto another plan, right? So as of right now, things are still being paid as far as renewal commissions go, but that might not be the same for the future. And if they're really trying to decommission and exit a plan, then it's probably best to, not hang your hat or your member's hat on thinking that that plan's going to be around in the future. For 2026, yes, but going forward, maybe not, because this seems like it could be phase one of switching over. Again, it's going to be an HMO world this year, you guys. So if we expect anything to go non-commissionable, it's probably going to be more PPOs.
Probably. Yeah. And again, it also varies on, as you're talking about, each carrier is going to be specific. Do they want to start getting out of a certain county or a certain area? So, yeah, we don't have that crystal ball yet as far as which plans are going to be non-commissionable. Those are going to be coming straight from those carriers, and you'll start hearing from them shortly.
Oh, they're not going to tell us because we're going to turn around and tell you.
Yep. Yeah, you'll probably hear about it before us. So.
All right.
All right. Well, I apologize. We did go over. I certainly appreciate your time. Thank you. Thank you all for coming, and thank all the Fidelis team for showing up as well and being a part of it. We appreciate each and every one of you. Again, we are here to help you and to serve you. So please reach out with anything you need from us. Thank you again, and have a fantastic AEP.
Thank you, everybody.